gotten really, really simple in what do I want to experience on my way to the vision? What do I want to experience? Because I still have to go through every second of every day to get to my vision and to like bring that to me. And so, we are really, really good at the masculine, right? We're really, really good at the execution. But I thought, man, if feminine is the experience, then what do I want to experience along the way? Hey there, prosperity seeker, and welcome to another episode of The Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez, and I am, as always, thrilled and humbled and so grateful that you are tuning in to today's episode. I'm really, really excited to share with you the biggest differentiators between feminine and masculine energy that I have discovered for myself. But before we dive into that, if you're listening to the audio version of this episode, be sure that you're following the podcast on your favorite app. And if you're catching us on YouTube, we sure would love it if you would click the notification bell and also hit the subscribe button. That way you are up to date and in the know when we drop another episode. If you want to hear or see what we're up to, head on over to AllysonChavez.com. We have lots of wonderful free resources for you. And I'm actually doing a free online masterclass here in the next week or so. It's all about living in certainty. So you can go to prosperityapproach.com/free-masterclass. The link's also in the show notes. So the biggest differentiator that I have found for me that's been really, really helpful to distinguish between feminine and masculine energy is that the feminine energy is all about the experience and masculine energy is all about the execution. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, I've been going into a lot of detail about feminine and masculine because I found that that was one of the three keys that turned the locks, that opened all of the doors for prosperity to just come raining down on me about 3 or 4 years ago. And as I continue to dive into that, like there's just more and more to learn about feminine and masculine energy and balancing them. And how do we know when we're in too much masculine or even too much feminine? And as I have spent more time pondering and more time being quiet in my mind, it came to me just very clearly one day that the feminine is about the experience and the masculine is about the execution. So what does that actually look like? So I want to put it in like an analogy for you at first, because that was actually really helpful for me. I had feminine and masculine described that feminine is the river and masculine is the river bank. If we only have the river, which is the feminine, and no river bank, all we get is spillage. There's no direction to the flow. There's no power to the flow. It just spills everywhere and we don't get anything done. If we only have the river bank, but there's no river to support, then there's no purpose and there's no point. And so we need both. We need the riverbank to support the river, and we need the river to give the riverbank a purpose and a meaning for its existence. Regina Thomas-Schauer said that the primary function of the feminine is desire, and the primary function of the masculine is the production of that desire. So we got to lead with our vision. We want to lead with the experience. And I think we get really, really broad as far as like, what's the vision? And the vision is 2 commas in the bank account, or the vision is size 4, or the vision is meeting my soulmate or deepening my relationship with my soulmate. Like we have these like really big visions, and that's really fantastic. And we have a hard time consistently connecting to our vision and believing our vision because we get bogged down by the execution of the vision. And so I've gotten really, really simple in what do I want to experience on my way to the vision? What do I want to experience? Because I still have to go through every second of every day to get to my vision and to like bring that to me. And so, we are really, really good at the masculine, right? We're really, really good at the execution. But I thought, man, if feminine is the experience, then what do I want to experience along the way? Because here's the thing, like we want to be in flow, right? And flow is that really delicious sense of being carried along from one activity to another throughout your day. It's not that you're like sitting and just floating and doing nothing, because as ambitious, professional, God-centered women, we get really restless really fast if we're not in on the action. So picture yourself in a kayak or picture yourself in a canoe. And so you're steering and you're paddling and you have your sights set on the direction, but you're having this wonderful feeling of being carried along by the current and carried along by the flow. And when we're in that flow, we're present in the moment. When interruptions happen, we don't get carried away or smash ourselves into the riverbank or try to turn the kayak around and swim up the river, which actually we kind of do when we get into resistance, when we get into resentment, when we're like, oh my gosh, I have so much going on, I don't have time for this. But if we just like turn our kayak around and just let ourselves just know, like, actually, this is here for a reason, and that reason is to assist me. So I can very easily like go around this surprise bend in the river and we'll take care of it. And then the bend will right itself out. And then we can go back to what I was focusing on, right? So we can be in that flow. And where does flow happen? It happens in the river. Flow does not happen on the riverbank. That's why we want to be in the experience. The experience is the feminine. The execution is the masculine. And so when I pull things way, way back for me, I think to myself, what's the experience I want to have today as I am going through the inspired action steps that get me to my vision and that also will then pull my vision to me. That has been game-changing because true confessions here, all right? I'm a human. I live on this planet just like everybody else right at this time. And I have allowed myself to be swept up in the drama of the economy and the drama of politics and the drama of all of the nonsense that is going on right now in our society and globally. And do you know what I am experiencing? A lot of uncertainty, or at least that's what I was experiencing, was uncertainty. And so when I'm in this feeling of uncertainty, I start getting into hustle. Like, oh no, things might not work out, so I'd better do more. And so I would get into execution. What else could I do? Which wasn't actually inspired action. It wasn't action that was inspired by alignment, because when I'm in uncertainty, I'm not aligned with what I want. What I'm aligned with is things not working out. So I need to have plan B and plan C and like all of the other contingency plans. And then it causes in me a great deal of anxiety. And I have a hard time sleeping, and I have a hard time staying present in the moment because my brain keeps like taking me to the future. I don't know about you, but I'm so tired of the level of uncertainty with virtually every part of life right now that I could scream. So I'm hosting a free online masterclass to teach you how to live in certainty no matter what is going on. So you can wake up in peace, you can still hit your goals and feel secure and confident as you go. If you're in, register at the link below. So I started getting really, really interested in the experience throughout the day, more so than the execution. And also, what was the experience I wanted to have during the execution? Because right now, where like all business owners are like having to pivot, and I'm really, really sick of that word. I much prefer like just we're being called upon to just flow in a different direction. Like we've got some bends in the river that we didn't see. That feels a whole lot better than like, the jarring of pivoting. But we are being called on to have fancy feet, right? And, we read, you look at the stocks, like all of that. I mean, you're experiencing it too. So I don't have to go into any of those details. But I realized that I was getting into so much masculine and so much execution, trying to keep the wolves at bay, trying to keep the wolves from snatching at my ankles. And it wasn't serving me at all. It certainly wasn't giving me the experience that I wanted, nor was it yielding me the results that I desired. And so I pulled way, way off that. And God was like, honey, you need to get back to basics. What happened 4 years ago that got you into quantum leaping and got you out of bankruptcy and into $250,000 in 6 months and went from 6 clients to 97 and dropped 45 pounds and changed my relationship with my husband and my children? What was it? I started living in certainty. And I was letting my feminine lead, and it was just about the experience. I was no longer completely wrapped up in the outcome. Now, is that easy to do right now? No, I got swept up in it too. And I quote unquote know better, right? But I need reminders just like everybody else does. And so I went back to the basics and got really, really simple instead of trying to hit myself over the head with, you know better, and you need to do this and you need to do that, because that's execution. It was, what do I want to experience today? I want to experience peace. I want to experience flow. I want to experience certainty. And as I have been able to step more into that, I'm sleeping so much better. I'm opening myself up to receive wonderful miracles and getting a deeper trust in God as we're in this gap. Like right now, I'm living in the gap. And that's actually where the feminine is. The feminine is the unknown. And we got to start getting comfortable with the unknown. And the way we get comfortable in the unknown is living in certainty. Now, most people have a misconception of what living in certainty actually is and what it actually looks like and how to really live in certainty. It's actually why I'm doing a free masterclass coming up here. And it's 3 steps to living in certainty in these uncertain times. So we're going to spend a couple of hours talking about the logistics and the practical ways to retrain your brain for alignment and flow. We're going to learn the simple yet very powerful and effective process to let go of struggle and live in certainty now, regardless of what's going on in the economy, regardless of how much gas and food cost, regardless of how much business is coming in, because if you want things to turn around, you've got to turn that around first. And there's a very simple and powerful process that will allow you to do that. And I'm also going to share with you the little known secret to change your life without having to do more, without having to cram more into your already full life. So if this feels like something that you would actually benefit from, and I know you will, come join us. We're at prosperityapproach.com/free-masterclass. It's a free masterclass that I'm doing. When you show up live, you're going to get access to another super, super cool bonus that is only available if you are there live, but it's a free class. Send the link to your sisters, your girlfriends, the powerful women in your life that are in a little bit of a spin right now as well. And we're going to stop the spin. We're going to stop the spin and get us grounded with certainty right now. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. It is, like I said, it was the key that turned the lock, that opened the door to great amounts of prosperity coming. And if it worked then, I absolutely know that it will work now. And if it worked for me at the place I was at then, 45 pounds overweight, $150,000 in debt, never present with my husband or our children, and within 4 to 6 months, boom, 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 everything changed so quickly. I know it will work for you too. So come join us, prosperityapproach.com/free-masterclass. And until next time, remember, prosperity becomes you. Bye-bye.